Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's do the review finally for this Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. Yes, the embargo has finally lifted. So let's have a look at this one. And I have to say, initially, the one thing that was always bugging me about the initial Galaxy Buds Pro, and they have really fixed that one in this Buds 2 Pro, is the fit. They have really made these one actually very comfortable. And guys, I'll also be doing slight comparisons with the XM4s, the Pixel Buds Pro that I had reviewed about 2 weeks ago, and even the Airpods, so that you can get an idea which one of these premium TWS is good enough. Regarding the pricing, guys, this was retailing for about 18,000, but there was an offer of about 3,000 off if you use some specific credit card. So if you are able to get that offer, then I feel it's a very good deal. But let's get down with this one. And so it comes in this box. I won't show you this one. You have this, you have some extra tips and all these things, and a charging cable on this one. So I'll just keep this box to the side, and we'll go again in my typical style over all these parameters so that you can have a good idea what do I feel about these premium TWS from Samsung. Okay, first thing is regarding the build quality and looks, and here I would say they have improved it quite a bit. Here are the buds itself. I'll just put these others to the side and I'll zoom in a little bit. As you can see, the case is actually relatively small but a little bit thick compared to the Airpods. These are a lot more wider, but this is a lot more thicker even compared to the Pixel one. These are actually a little bit more compact and obviously a lot smaller than the Sony XM4. So that way it's good. I like the feel of this one. This is actually a soft touch plastic, so gives a very nice feel when you touch it. Back we have a USB Type-C port for charging, so that's also not an issue. But the only thing is that we don't have a dedicated button here to actually pair it with a different smartphone. You have to use those touch sensitive buttons like what the Pixel has. We have a LED light over here which denotes the charge. Right now it's not, case is not fully charged, that's why it's in red, otherwise it would have been in green. And here also we have it, and this denotes the charging of the buds itself. Green means it's actually charged. And again, the case is good, and again it has that soft touch feel, so it feels actually nice to hold. Again, plastic, and the closing is nice. So that way I would say in build quality and all these things, not an issue. Now moving to the buds also, these buds are actually a lot smaller compared to the original Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. In fact, that is the reason I feel these are way more comfortable to wear. A lot more smaller. Samsung says about 15% smaller. Definitely these are smaller. The only nitpicking that I have is while putting in the case, sometimes I was just keeping it like this. You have to put it like this and move it. Sometimes the magnets don't pull it automatically here, so you have to just do that. Apart from that, no issues with the case. Okay, let's now talk about the Bluetooth range. The good thing is that this comes with the latest Bluetooth 5.3, which is actually really good. I like when vendors push the latest. So in terms of Bluetooth range, I tested with two phones. One is this Flip 4, and other was the Pixel 6a, and I did not have any issues regarding the Bluetooth range. In fact, the Bluetooth range was very strong. In a typical small flat, if it's a 2 BHK, if you can just place your smartphone in the center, you can roam around the entire flat and it will not disconnect. So typical Bluetooth range, and the connection was very strong. I never had an issue with the Bluetooth, in fact, so that way it's good. Okay, now another thing is lag while watching videos. Here I tested this with quite a bit of YouTube videos and even some Netflix movies, and I would say just like most of the premium TWS, no issues whatsoever. Sometimes in YouTube when you play and pause it back, you get the lip syncing, but again if you would just resume it again, it fixes automatically. So that way it's good. But just like any TWS, take it Sony, you take this Airpod, you take this Pixel Buds 2 Pro, if you're doing competitive gaming or something like that, then you will have slight lag. That is expected and that is sort of normal. So I would say in terms of lag and stuff, it's normal, no issues. Okay, now let's talk about apps and buttons for customization. Okay, let's talk about what do we have on the buds itself. This area of the bud is actually touch sensitive like most of them. So when you wear it, you can have, when the music is automatically playing, you tap it once, it will pause, double tap, it will move to the next track, triple tap, you will go back. And you can also have some test labs option where you can technically adjust the volume, but again I would say it does not fall into the practical use. But let me actually show you the app of this one. I have to actually wear it. Oops. And you can actually wear just one of them for taking calls and something, that is fine. You don't have to wear both of them at the same time, but I'll just wear it. And let's go to the Galaxy Wear app, and as you can see, this is detected. And again, if it's a non-Samsung smartphone, you have to just download this app. It's an optional app. In fact, the earbuds work without this app also, but if you want the best customization and take advantage of all the features, then I feel you have to use this app. So as you can see, right now you have the basic three modes. In fact, when you first get this, it also tells you to test the seal of the earbuds. There is a small test that it does, and it says okay. With the default earbud itself told me that the fit was good, and I didn't have to change it because it was comfortable. So you have that test. And by the way, initially you have this noise cancellation on and off. You don't have to use the app for this. In fact, you can just use the left side earbud, and if you hold it for a minute, as you can see, it now went to the ambient mode, and you just hold it for about 2 seconds again, it goes back to the noise cancellation. So you don't have to use the app for this. There is also this voice detect feature. In fact, even the Sony's have it. For example, if you're listening to music and you just start talking, it will go to the ambient mode and lower the volume. I generally did not do it because if you're a person who sings while listening to music, it gets activated all the time. So I didn't use it, but yeah, that option is there and it works. 360 audio is also there. I frankly, listening to music, I do not like 360 degrees audio. Even with the AirPods, they call it spatial audio or something. I don't like it. But in some of the movies, you might enjoy it. So that feature is there. Now, touch controls, again, as I told you, you have the touch controls. You can enable it and disable it. And here are the touch controls that you have. Okay, by default, you cannot control the volume with this one, but there is a feature in the labs. If you go to the earbuds setting, and in labs feature, double tap the H button, and now it'll actually, you can technically control the volume, but again, it's not done well. That's why this feature is in the lab section. 60% of the time it simply does not work. So I would say yes, technically it is there, but it does not work that well. That's why I think so they just left it in the lab section. Some of you will complain, no, it has, no, it's there, but it's not implemented well. So I, just to show you, I enabled it. I'm not using it. So yeah, that's what it, but the app is good. It is very functional. As you can see, you have all the things. So one thing I like is you do have a equalizer on this one, and even in the normal mode, I'll come to the sound signature later on. It was good, but you can adjust it like this, as you can see. And I'm liking the dynamic mode. This gives me that punch that I want, and the clarity that I want, the slight shimmer that I want. I think so you get that very well on the dynamic mode, but other modes are also there. But one thing I do not like is that I don't know why these vendors don't do it. Sony has done that. Why can't they have a custom mode over here where you can equalize as per your liking? So that is something that is missing. But apart from that, in terms of app customization and all those things, it's there. And you also do the firmware upgrade via this one. So as you can see, you have all these options on this one. So that way, and you can update the software from here. So that's not a problem. So I would say in terms of app, it is very, very functional on this one. I do not have a problem with the app. It's pretty good in customizing. Only thing is, maybe if it's a firmware update, if they can add a custom EQ option, that would have been better. Okay, now let's talk about the comfort, which was my biggest bane of the original Galaxy Buds Pro. They were simply not that comfortable to wear. They were a lot bigger than this one, and after just about 25 minutes, it started paining in my ears, just like the XM4. That's the problem that I have XM4. XM4s sound brilliant, but that's the problem. Finally, I would say Samsung fixed that with this one. This is so comfortable that in terms of comfort, I would give it as high as 9 out of 10. It just falls quarter point less than the Airpods Pro, which I feel is the most comfortable for me. So in terms of comfort, they have really nailed it, and it's very, very comfortable. Even if you wear for a couple of hours, you don't get that ear pain or something. And I think so that's due to the new design what they have done and physically reduce the size of this one. So I would say kudos to Samsung in this, because this was my biggest bane, and this gets a big plus from me. Okay, now let's talk about active noise cancellation. Like any other, premium buds, these also actually have active noise cancellation. That's why they call it the Pro, I guess. The Pros have that active noise cancellation. Okay, the active noise cancellation is actually good on this one. In fact, I would say from earlier buds, this is slightly actually enhanced, I would say. And right now I'm in active noise cancellation. The AC is running, and this light that I have also has a fan. Slight hum is there. The microphone can't pick it, but that's completely gone. So that way it drowns out a lot of things. But again, if I have to rate active noise cancellation, this I would rate very close to the Pixel Buds Pro. So it's actually very good. I would rate, if I have to rate it, I would rate it about 8.5 out of 10. Still, I would say in terms of active noise cancellation, the best is still XM4. This is 10 on 10, and the AirPods Pro is 9 out of 10 for me. These actually, in a way, are actually better because these don't create a super vacuum kind of a feeling that you get with the XM4s and the AirPods Pro. So some of you would like it, but again, if I have to talk about absolute active noise cancellation, these get 8.5. Very good, but not the best, I would say. So that's regarding the active noise cancellation, and that's 8.5 to me. Now coming about the microphone quality, again, I feel the microphone quality has improved on this one, and I took a lot of calls with this one, and other people never complained that my call quality was not good, or they say, are you using a Bluetooth headset or something like that. So that way it is good. So that's not a problem, but I would say again, in terms of microphone quality, if I have to rate, still I would say the AirPods Pro are the leader still. This is 10 on 10 for me. These are a very close 8.5 to me in terms of microphone quality. Don't get me wrong, if you don't have so many TWS to compare, you will be absolutely happy with this one. But yeah, there is slight scope of improvement in terms of microphone. Most of you will not notice it. I'm just being nitpicky here. So microphone quality is very good, very close to what I was experiencing, I would say, with the Pixel Pro. Slightly better than the Pixel Buds Pro. So microphone quality is also plus. Okay, now about volume adjustment from the TWS. As I've told you, in the lab section, they have that option as I've shown you. But again, it's not implemented well. So I would say most of you will enable that lab option, but most of the time, while instead of changing the volume, you will just change the track, because you have to click on a certain position in that sensitive area, then only the volume gets adjusted. So volume adjustment, they should have done something what the Pixel Buds Pro have done. So that way, I would say that's still a negative for me, because the lab thing does not work that way. Okay, now let's talk about the battery life. Here, I would say these are actually sort of average. They are slightly better than the AirPods Pro. The AirPods Pro, if I recall, get about 4.5 hours worth of usage with ANC. These get roughly close to about 5 hours with ANC. Without ANC, you get 3 hours extra, but I did not use it without the ANC. So battery life is strictly average. I would say not bad, not good. I didn't have a problem because I was not listening continuously for about 4.5 5 hours. You just put it back in this case and it charges very quickly. But again, yeah, in absolute terms, these are just average in terms of battery life. That way, I would say the Pixel Buds Pro or the XM4s have far better battery life. Let's move to the next thing, and that is regarding sound quality for the music. And let's talk about the sound stage. Again, here, even the original Galaxy Buds Pro were actually very good in terms of what you say, music listening experience. And this carries on with the Buds 2 Pro. These, I would say, they have refined it a little bit, man. In fact, let's just break it down. Let me just pause the music and let's talk about some of the parameters that we have. The sound stage is actually done very well on this one. Don't get me wrong. In fact, I'll be just blunt. These actually sound way better than the AirPods Pro for listening to music, and even slightly better than the Pixel Buds Pro. But the Sony's XM4 slightly go ahead. But again, to be very frank, most of you will love it. Bass is certainly extended a little bit, but that most of you will actually like on this one. And I didn't have to actually play too much with the bass. The bass was done well, and in fact, it's actually tight. That's what you want. The bass should not muddy in the midtones and all those things. The midtones where the vocals are there also are produced very well on this one. So again, in that aspect also, I do not have a problem. The highs could have slight shimmer, but again, as I've told you, I kept it on dynamic and they were produced very well. In fact, I would say these sounded excellent. In fact, way better than the Buds 2 Pro and even the AirPods Pro. But yeah, the XM4 slightly has an edge in terms of sound, but again, not by a huge margin. But these are way more comfortable because now I have all of them. I was picking this up, and for the most part, I enjoyed listening music to on this one because I could listen to music for more than 2 hours also, or watch a movie, etc., without that ear fatigue. So that way, I would say sound quality, it has improved slightly from the Buds Pro. The Buds Pro were always actually pretty good in terms of sound. They have improved. Samsung has managed to improve it slightly better. So these get a solid 9 on 10 in terms of sound. Okay, now let's talk about how do I rate this. Let's overall rate this one. What do I feel? In comfort, as I've told you, this is one area that I love this one. The earlier Buds Pro, the original ones, I simply did not like them because of the comfort issue. This gets a solid 9 on 10. Features and ease of use, again, very, very good. Only thing is, as I've told you, that volume control, they have it in the labs, but the implementation is not done that well. That is the only thing that I have. And a custom EQ option, if they can give, I would have rated it 10 on 10. But here, I would again have to rate it 9 out of 10. ANC quality, as I've told you, again, very, very good ANC quality. Most of you will love it. 8.5 out of 10. Microphone quality again gets the same 8.5 out of 10 to me. And music and sound signature, this is done very, very well. Most of you will love it. In fact, the bass and everything, even in the default setting, is done very well. So you will like it. So this gets a 9 out of 10. So if you look at it, the overall score is a very, very solid 8.8 out of 10 on this one. And if you are able to get it, if I talk about price to performance comparison, this one, as I've told you, the retail price I saw was listed on on Amazon, and even that Samsung official website. This was for 18,000. The XM4s are generally for about 20,000. The Airpods Pro are fluctuating. I don't know. They go all the way to 22, 24. Also, sometimes they come down to 20. And the Pixel Buds Pro are about 19,000. But there was an offer on this one. But still, if you look at this, is the most affordable in India, 18,000. But there was an initial offer. I don't know if it's applicable right on now. If you use a certain credit card, they give us 3,000 rupees off to this. So that works out to be about 15,000. So if we are able to get this one at 15,000, this is a very good deal. In fact, it sounds very, very good. And I have no reservations recommending. But again, if it's not able to get the discount and it's available at 18,000, this is very close to the XM4. I would say the XM4s, forget about these two. XM4s actually sound a little bit better, but again, in terms of comfort, the Pixel Buds 2 Pro are way more comfortable. So it comes down to personal preference. That is what I would say. So do let me know what do you feel about these Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. What I'll do is, guys, I'll leave the link of Amazon or even the Samsung website if I'm able to find some deals or something. So do check them out. And what do you feel about this Galaxy Buds 2 Pro? And guys, if you're still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.